Everybody. Good afternoon, Colorado, and people that are listening outside of Colorado. Man, nothing like a little Frankie, little Mickey Blue Eyes right there. Nothing but the best. That's right. This is K4CO Radio, playing you some of the best music from the 40s all the way through today. And a third of our rotation, Colorado local artists. I'm sitting here. My name is Josh. So everybody, I'm the president here. I'm sitting here with our vice president, Sarah. How's it going, Sarah?
Hey, it's good. Everyone knows you by now, Josh.
Everyone does by now, hopefully,
yes.
Right? That's what we can
exactly.
We can
right?
hope for. Mm-hmm.
We love it. No, I'm doing well. It's nice to have the weather be in the 70s. I know you prefer it in the 60s.
I think 60s is best, but 60s and 70s I'll take. I think it was some of the best music and it's the best weather.
Yes.
So, personally.
I agree. I know 3 weeks away from Halloween, so I hope people are getting ready, maybe doing some decorating this weekend.
And bought your candy. I know our vice president here went to Costco.
I did.
Bought a plethora. Of candy.
I think it was about $100 worth of candy.
Oh, my goodness.
With that being said, I am giving it to nonprofits.
Yes.
And
I know that was your...
I may or may not have already opened some of the candy and eaten some of it.
Yeah, of course you did.
Yes, I did.
Well, if you are listening in on K4CO Radio, thank you very much for doing so. But for interviews, you can also go to the K4CO Radio social media platforms, Facebook, LinkedIn, YouTube, Instagram, all that fun stuff, so that you can see our beautiful shining faces. Me as well. And we have a wonderful guest with us today. Sarah, who do we have in the K4CO studio?
We do. I'm super excited to unpack this because she and her team are all over the state of Colorado and going into residential, commercial schools, you name it, and reorganizing not only the spot, but it's really to reorganize the brain and the life. It just helps organize. So we have Erin Gaskins with Room Redefined, and definitely go to the website roomredefined.com. And if you are watching on our social media sites, you can see under the little ticker tape that information, and do reach out to Erin, and it's Erin, ERIN, at roomredefined.com, or you can call 720-934-4214. So Erin, thank you so much for being here.
Yeah, thank you so much for having me. It's great to join you guys.
Yeah, this is wonderful. I've been looking forward to it. It's so fascinating to me to have, we'll unpack all of the different services, but I'm curious because you've been doing this for several decades now. Am I correct?
Not quite that long.
Oh,
8 years.
Okay. But probably in your own world. Right. You've probably been organizing for a long time. So tell us how you got started. What was your journey like?
Yeah. So in my previous life, I was actually an educator. Okay. So I worked in public education for about 25 years. And there reached a point where it just wasn't the right fit for me anymore. I wasn't working in a healthy environment, and I knew it was time to step aside. Mm-hmm. So I made the choice to leave, but I didn't have a clear plan. I had kind of in the back of my mind assumed I'd be working there till they wheeled me out feet first. So stepped away and then was kind of left with, well, now what? Mm-hmm. And a dear friend of mine called, and she's like, well, I don't know what your long-term plan is going to be, but in the meantime, my house is a mess, and you're really good at this. Will you just come help me organize my space? I guess I could do this.
Yeah.
And the bonus was I got to spend some really quality time with a really good friend. Mm-hmm. And so we dug in and we started trying to make sense of her space and why it was and wasn't working. Mm-hmm. And one day I walked in and she said, no, just pretend I'm a client. And I was like, really? Because I didn't realize until that time that people really did this for a living. But we started playing around with it, and meanwhile, she's a talker. She'll talk to anybody. And she started telling people what I was doing for her, and somebody called to see if I could help them. And then another person called. And at that point, I realized maybe I should just go take a couple business classes and figure out how to be legit. Okay. Mm-hmm. So I did, and Room Redefined was kind of born. And I worked as a solopreneur for about 3 years.
Okay.
And then at that time got a very big project helping a school move into a new facility, and knew I needed help from team members to keep that project going, as well as work with my residential clients. So Room Redefined started expanding, and today it's myself and 5 other team members with a whole diverse background of skills, anything from interior design training to space planning. One of them is a closet designer at the Container Store.
Wow.
Psychology background, life skills, or life coaching. Myself with the education background. So we really bring a lot of different dynamics to each project that we work with. So it's been quite a journey.
That's very cool. You kind of just accidentally stepped into it, just like, I'll do it, and then started getting calls, and it was almost like a calling then.
Yeah.
So,
It happened very organically, and I was very intentional when I started this. I knew, especially after working for public school districts, where you're really told how to think and what to do as an educator, whether or not it makes sense to you necessarily. I knew I didn't want to just go see what other professional organizing companies were doing and emulate that. I wanted to go see what people really needed. And so I made the decision to just kind of start working with clients, start talking to people, and see what they really needed in a service like mine, and build a company around that. So Room Redefined has developed very organically and very relationship based. So we like to say we're relationship based organizers, because it's all about really, still to this day, listening to our clients, hearing what they need, and figuring out, can we solve this need for you?
Right.
And if so, how are we going to do that?
Oh, I love all the backgrounds. To me, when I hear, when I go in and have the time to organize my closet, I need to purge is what I need to do. But it reorganizes my brain, right? And we all have our different way of thinking. I love that your team comes in from the interior design and the psychology behind people, because that really is what it is. We all have our feng shui in our house of how our brains work, and you know that better than most, for sure.
Yeah. People need very different things from their environment, and it really depends on and what your brain needs to function. And so we really want to dial in, does somebody need things to be very aesthetically pleasing to them? Does somebody need it simply to function very well?
Right.
Does somebody have ADHD or is on the autism spectrum, and we need to take into consideration how much sensory stimulation there is for them? Or with ADHD, do we really need to focus on point of performance? Where do they do the things they need to do? And what do they need to have near them so that they can find the things, they're going to utilize it, and they're going to be more likely to put it back away? And so in a lot of cases, we really want to dial into that first. How do they think? How do they function in their space? And then we'll bring in the aesthetics on top of it later, when and if that's a priority.
Right. Right. No, I love that there's so much to unpack here, but the system is so super important, right? It's because I have my own system of, I'm going to do laundry. How long it sits in the laundry basket is up to me, but it's to, put in the system that works for you, that actually will motivate you to put it back where you got it. How often do you find that when you come in and you do an organizational, maybe a total upheaval, do they call you? How frequently do they call you again to come in and say, Erin, we need another help?
It's actually, that's something that we prep people for initially when we first meet with clients. Is I like to explain that most of the time this isn't a one and done service. You might, people that have watched the home edit on TV or other TV shows like that, where they show these spaces being made over, and then they're like, great, enjoy, goodbye. That's so not real life, because it doesn't show what it's like afterwards. And for us, it's really a matter of building that relationship, hopefully setting you up as close to success as possible, but then continuing that relationship. So we can still verify, okay, now what parts are working and what do we still need to tweak to make it continue to work for you as you learn from how you interact in your new space, as we find, okay, now we need to adjust this or adjust that, or no, we didn't hit it on the head. We need to adjust it for this person or that person in your house. So it's really an ongoing relationship. And many times what we put in will work well, but then let's say, for example, we've set up a mudroom and we've done it during the summer. Mm-hmm. What happens when winter hits and all of the gear in the mudroom changes? And the family doesn't have the time to sit there and think about, now, how do I change my mudroom systems for this new gear? Mm-hmm. When we have that relationship, they call us and say, hey, Erin, can you do this change out for us and show us how the spaces work? Or, my space was working great, but now my son wants to play hockey. And hockey comes with a lot of stuff.
A lot of big equipment, too.
Yeah, a lot of big equipment. So now we need to figure out, when does hockey happen? What is he carrying out the door when? What is he bringing in the door versus into the garage?
Right.
And stuff like that. And start to make space for this new thing in their lives. So if our lives stayed stagnant and never changed, our systems that we put in would probably work pretty well all the time. But that's not real life.
Yeah,
so
that's not reality.
The relationship is what it all comes down to. And so we'll put systems in place. We'll many times we sell maintenance plans too. So clients love it. They'll say, you know what, we want you back every 3 months, maybe for a day, maybe for a couple days, maybe just for a couple hours. But they'll pre-book it, put a credit card on file, and that way they know every 3 months Erin or one of her team members is coming back. This is going to be tweaked, and everything's going to continue to work smoothly.
Oh, that's nice. It's kind of like someone coming in and cleaning, on a regular basis to keep you organized. Mm-hmm. What are the different scopes that you offer? Like, is on a smaller scale up to how large will you go?
Mm-hmm. So we'll do anything from, a small closet. We've come in and just done a bathroom or a pantry with somebody. I just worked with a client who needed somebody to sit down and help her go through simply her paperwork. And we organized all of her paperwork. So it was working well for her now into the future when she would eventually hand it down to her kids after she passed. So it was a very small in scope project, but really important to her.
Right.
We've done anything from that to a whole home, where clients feel like nothing in their home is working well. So, and they're overwhelmed with the idea of like, I don't even know where to start. Mm-hmm. Help me figure out how to even begin with this. And then where do I go to accomplish our goals? Mm-hmm. We love that because then we get to help them focus on priorities, figure out what's really important to them, and then help them start to put those priorities into place. And then even larger than that, the largest project I've done is working with a school. It was a charter school in Aurora, and they were transitioning from a church basement that was about 15,000 square feet into a brand new purpose-built facility that was 65,000 square feet.
Okay. Wow.
And the director hired me. She said, I in between making sure I have enough staff and enough students in the programming for this new building, I don't have time to make sure the building's ready. Right. Mm-hmm. Can you do that for me?
Okay.
And so that was when I started hiring team members, and we spent about a year getting that building ready. Wow. So, and that way the teachers could walk into their classrooms.
Be done.
They had their supplies, they had their furniture. Everything was ready to go. People that had offices had their offices ready to move into, and they could just start working.
What a wonderful, I love that you offer this. I know, just to have it be done.
Well, and not only on a smaller like residential scale, but even going out to businesses and schools, and I mean,
right.
And took you a year to get that school all taken care of?
Yeah, we worked with him for about a year and a half.
Okay, right.
So that makes sense. That's a big jump, and yeah, it's of course a bigger project than probably what you all normally do. But to seriously just walk into a house or walk into a school or a business and truly just have it be organized and done and beautiful and aesthetically speaking, I find that I struggle with it for sure. I am not a creative person at all. I'm more just, I want it to be where I want it to be, but I don't want to do it.
Right, exactly.
So
Yeah.
it's a wonderful convenience to have someone help in that regard.
Absolutely.
And I have a question. And if anybody watching, of course, if you're listening on the radio, you're probably driving. Don't play with your phone. But if you're watching on our social media, you can just comment, and then our producer will alert me to a question if you do have it, or just message the K4CO radio app. But my father always used to say, if you haven't touched it in a year, get rid of it. Do you have a rule that you kind of go by when it comes to stuff like that? Because, for me, it's just like it builds up. And I think for everybody, stuff just builds and builds and builds and builds. And suddenly it's just like, oh my gosh, I need a purge.
Yeah. So that's not a bad rule. If you haven't used it in a year, 6 months to a year, do you really need it? That's a great question to ask yourself. Many times we'll meet clients and they're like, are you going to make me get rid of stuff?
Right.
And my answer is, no, I'm not going to make you. But clearly your goal is to get more organized. So I'm going to ask you a series of questions as we work together that's going to help you decide what you want. And so some of those questions include, what do you need and want for your life now moving forward? So it's really about looking forward rather than back at the past. And that way people can start to define what's really key for now moving forward. Then they'll start to look at, well, yeah, but all of this stuff is stuff that's been important to me.
Right.
And I want to be clear, too, that it's easy to say, yeah, somebody's house is full of clutter. But 9 times out of 10, that clutter is artifacts from their life's journey.
Right.
So to them, there's some kind of emotional attachment to the stuff for whatever reason. So then my question becomes to them, not so much whether or not have you touched it in the last year, but if you're holding on to it, what is the reason? What is the story you want to tell?
Right.
And to whom are you going to tell that story? You're holding on to it as part of your life now moving forward. So is it that it's telling a story to you? And you want to be able to look at it and remember something that was key to you. It's a part of who you are.
Right.
And if so, maybe we don't want it shoved away in a box under the stairs. We want to put it somewhere where you can revisit that story and honor that story. So let's pull it out and do that. Or maybe it's something that you want to hold on to tell a story to your children when they're the right age, or pass down to your grandchildren. Okay, let's talk about the best way to store it and save it until it's the right time. But being able to answer those questions then helps people feel like they're making the right decisions for them, as opposed to just like willy-nilly throwing things out.
Right. And I do notice, at least with myself, sometimes I'm just like, oh, I don't want to. But then after I throw it away, it's like, it's gone. You don't even think about it anymore.
Yeah.
And I don't know. I think it's a good way to constantly be purging. And just like, I need to balance stuff out a little bit.
And there are those items where it's like, well, it doesn't tell a story, and I don't know if I'll need it for my life moving forward. I bought it. I spent good money on it. Maybe I shouldn't throw it out. Then kind of the rule of thumb I have too is like, was it more than $20 or less than $20? Is it easy to replace? If you haven't used it for a long time, it was less than $20, it's easy to replace. Probably something you can let go of.
Right.
Because you can get it again if by chance you happen to need it. More than $20, something that's hard to replace, something like that. Let's have more of a conversation about it and see, is it impacting the way you live in your space? And are you willing to give up, make that compromise for this thing or not?
Right. And you help people as well. It's not just trash or something. It's, donating. There's so many different things and nonprofits to donate to that can help out, that can use it as well. So,
yeah.
And
we have people that are downsizing. They'll downsize from 4,000 square feet, 8,000 square feet, and they're moving into 12,000 square feet.
Right. Kids are out of the house. It's too big for us. Right.
Yeah, so there's really serious considerations to be made when they're doing this.
Completely.
But we don't have to just donate or throw away. To something that we've started doing in the last year and a half is offering online auction services.
Really?
Yeah, so it's kind of a new thing that we've come across. People weren't always thrilled with the idea of holding estate sales when they had a large amount of items to get rid of when they were downsizing. And
Why is that?
the idea that in an estate sale, large numbers of people were coming into your house. They're touching all your things. There can be safety concerns with that. Things might go disappear.
That makes
during
sense.
that. Security is sometimes hard to control. With an online auction, the way we facilitate that is we work with our clients to figure out what they no longer want to keep. And then it's only my team in there cataloging and taking photographs of everything. And then we work with online auction companies to utilize their platforms to upload all of the pictures. That company will then facilitate the auction. The auctions usually run about 10 days. They're local, so we're marketing to a local audience. At the end of those 10 days, the auction closes. And in the past, we've had, on average, 92 to 98% of everything we put on sale sell.
Wow.
So we're selling the majority of everything the client has. And we can list everything from, like, if they're moving out of a home, we can take all of their partially used cleaning products, put it at an auction, they always sell.
Really?
We can take their used linens, as long as they're not stained, they're still usable, put
Right.
those in a lot. We can put their leftover office products, their garage, the things you'd find in your garage for your yard, like partially used fertilizer and seeds and stuff like that. People love to buy that stuff because they can get it at a great discount.
Right.
And so then at the end of the auction, we'll host one pickup day. Everybody that bought stuff shows up with their invoice. We hand them their stuff, and things are gone.
That is very cool.
Oh, I like this.
I've never heard of something like this.
I haven't either, actually. For those that I'm asking for family,
Asking for a friend.
asking for a friend. This is for my parents specifically. Can you do this without the auction piece of it as well? Can you go through and catalog and take pictures of everything? So if and when generations shift after someone passes, is that a service that you would offer as well?
Like for a home inventory?
Yes.
Yeah, definitely. We've done
Okay.
that before.
Okay.
Yeah, and sometimes people work with they're estate planners that will have forms or platforms that they want us to upload things into. If not, we can coordinate that for them.
Okay, that is amazing. Oh, I like this. Do you always have a specific website? So for people now listening on the other side that are saying, hey, I'm actually moving into a bigger location, I need some stuff. Can they go to a certain, like your website? Where do they go for that?
For the auctions?
Yes.
So we will normally advertise them like through our Facebook. And I usually send out emails to all of our clients notifying them that, hey, another auction is happening.
Okay.
Please check out this link. So if you visit our webpage, you can absolutely sign up for our
Your auction information.
just
Okay.
sign up for our contact list.
Okay.
And that way you can get information about those. We have partnered in the past with a company called Max Sold. And we are looking at another option which would allow the sellers to retain a lot more of the sales proceeds. Max Sold takes a certain amount of commission.
Okay.
And so we're looking for options to where the sellers would not be paying commission
Okay.
and simply be paying for our services.
I love this.
So we're trying to find the best deals for our clients.
Okay. We know a lot of people that are downsizing and moving, and it's constant. So definitely for those that are listening and watching, go to roomredefined.com. And you all are on social media. You're on Facebook, Instagram. So that's a great way to just keep a pulse on things like that as well. If you're moving. You need to get organized, the whole shebang.
And
Absolutely.
speaking of moving, though, you also help people move?
We
Is
do.
that correct? You do. Because I hate moving. And the K4CO radio moved in July this year. And it was only 2 minutes away, but I don't care if you're moving 2 minutes or 2 hours away. It's a pain in the butt.
Yeah, it is a lot of stuff. It's very stressful.
Very stressful. So tell us a little bit about that, where you can actually help people when they're during their move.
Absolutely. Yeah. So some of our favorite jobs are being connected with clients prior to their move, because our philosophy is don't pay to move anything that you're not going to want in your new house.
Right.
So let's go through, let's do the decluttering. While we're doing that, we can also help you pack if you'd like, or depending on the size of the job and how quickly you have to be packed and moved, we can coordinate with local moving companies. We partnered with various companies, so we can put you in contact with some really great ones, or we can work with the moving company of your choice. Okay. We've done everything from manage the moving company, where clients say, I don't want to deal with any of this. Can you just coordinate with the moving company, show them where everything goes in the new house, and let us know when we're in?
Oh my gosh.
We can do that. Or, you know what, can you just give us the moving company name and we'll take it from here? So we can do any and all of it. Then on the move in side, we love to see your new place before you move in, if you'd like. So we can see, do you need new closet systems? Let's get those installed before you move in. So once your clothes are there, we can put them straight away. Do you need any kitchen products? So once we unpack your kitchen, it's going into cabinets that are organized and already set up for you. We can do that setup as we unpack. So it's just kind of helping things go efficiently and easily for you, so that basically you're just starting to live in your space as quickly as possible.
That's amazing. I move about every 18 months.
She does.
Oh my gosh.
Right?
Okay.
And thank
She's
you for
nuts.
that look.
Yeah.
It's so horrible. I keep saying this is my last move. It's never my last move.
Maybe it was your last move alone.
That's true. Yeah, it is so hard to do it by yourself. And I recruit friends that don't want to do it. It's, the pizza and beer days are very over.
Anymore.
It doesn't.
Pizza and beer does not
They're
work
like,
anymore.
no, we aren't going to help you. It's too much work.
Exactly.
I love that you provide this service. That's amazing.
Thanks.
And I also wanted to ask, where are your services provided?
Yeah, great question. We are throughout the metro area. So typically we go as far south as Castle Rock, Parker, out east through Aurora. We've been to Boulder, Loveland, Thornton. That kind of covers the gamut, but we will go further. We're working with a client right now in Evergreen and Golden, and we just finished a project in Bailey. And so when we're going a little bit further, there may be travel fees. So we just need to discuss those up front based on how far you are and the time it takes us to get there. And we just want to discuss the strategy for your project, so we make sure that it works for you and us. So if it's a project where you need us to come just a few hours each week, it may not be the most productive scenario. But if it's something where we can send a couple people at a time and really focus in to make the travel worthwhile for you, the investment, it's a perfect project for us.
Okay. I had someone actually send in a text and ask for the fee schedule. Do you pay per hour, or is it the scope, the size of the project? How do you determine that?
Yes and yes.
Okay.
So
Okay.
All of the above.
All of it. Okay. That's good.
we sell our organizing in packages of hours.
Okay.
So we have a 36, a 24, and a 12-hour package.
Okay.
And so whenever anybody wants to work with us, what I like to do is send them first a new client questionnaire. And these are fairly in-depth, intentionally so. I really want to start understanding what that person needs out of our services and their space, what their hopes and dreams are. And then I set up an in-person consultation so that I can come see them in their space, because it's easy for somebody to say, hey, I have a 2-bedroom apartment. What will it cost me? But a 2-bedroom apartment can mean very different things
Right.
when it's, in the organizing world. So I want to make sure I'm being as close to accurate as possible so that I can tell them, hey, I think this will take us 24 hours to accomplish. Or, I think this will take us 36 or multiple 36-hour packages for some of our bigger projects.
Okay.
In that case, too, what we'll do is start with a 36-hour package. And then as we get towards the end of it, we notify them where they're at in the package and where we're at with the project. And then, how many more hours we think it will take. And that way everybody's kept well informed about the status of their project.
Okay.
So, yeah, that's kind of how we
No, that's
work through
amazing.
that.
Thank you. I'm glad you actually mentioned the filing of paperwork. To me, that is all of it's daunting. I'll be totally honest. Like purging, moving, organizing, but especially, I feel like we hold on to a lot of things for whatever reasons. A lot of the emotional, sentimental pieces, and we tell the journey through our years of, oh, that reminded me. I hung on to the first date I ever went on when I was 16. I kept that outfit for 20 years. Just
Really?
because it reminded me of like the very first boy that I kissed. But I can't believe I'm outing myself on this. But like, it tells the journey, right? When someone will look at a shirt at a garage sale and go, really? Like, well, that meant a lot to you. But even filing paperwork, right? Because you can have paperwork for 40 years. That you now need to have. And I think it's someone to not have the emotional attachment, have that reality step in. And
Even
say,
without
yeah.
the emotional, too, it's kind of like everybody has the junk drawers. Everybody has the places in their house or their apartment where you just throw stuff
Right.
and forget about it. And then suddenly when it's overflowing, that's when you're just like, oh, maybe I should go through this.
Is it okay to have a junk drawer?
She will say no.
I mean, okay.
It's okay to have the stuff that you have in a junk drawer, but we want you to be able to find that stuff again.
Right.
And we want you to have a home for that stuff. So we take out all the stuff in the junk drawer and we'll categorize and sort it and give it a place.
Okay.
So you can find it again.
Exactly. So when I need duct tape, I'm not looking for,
tape.
2 hours for my duct tape.
Yep.
Because it didn't go back in the right spot.
Yeah.
That's essentially what happens.
So
You
we're
just
not
gotta
anti-junk drawer, just anti-disorganized junk
Okay.
drawers.
I
You
like
can
it.
have your junk, just spread it out.
Well,
you know?
to have it
Make
have
it
a
so that you can find your
spot.
junk.
To have a system, to her point.
Right.
It's like put the tape back in the same spot. Put the glue back in the same spot.
Right.
Toys. I mean, it is. I need you in my life, Erin. Desperately. Oh my goodness.
Well, especially we live. I love. Do you like George Carlin? Do you remember George Carlin?
Oh, yeah.
Where he's just like your stuff, and then you get a place like a storage unit to put more of your stuff. And in my mind, it's just like if you can't fit all your stuff in your house, you have too much stuff.
Then you buy another house.
Oh, then you upsize.
Exactly. That's all you have to do, right?
With all the jobs that you've done, you've been doing this for a while. I'm sure you have some fun stories, some fun jobs. I'm curious about it could be a most challenging project that you've done, a most fun, interesting project that you've done that comes to mind, or something that just reminded you, yeah, this is why I do this. This is why I Room Redefined.
Yeah. It's hard. I don't want to be specific about projects because I sent this link to all of my clients.
Okay.
And so I don't want them to think, oh my gosh, she's talking about me and my project.
Fair
Because
enough.
it's amazing when I walk into every client's home, they're like, this has got to be the worst you've ever seen.
I'm sure
And
every
9
client
times out of
says that.
10, I'm
Yeah,
like,
it's not.
this actually is not anywhere near the worst that I've seen.
Right.
But I think when it's difficult is when it's hard for us to get feedback from the client. If we can't get feedback, it's really hard for us to know how to put things in the right system for them. And sometimes it's hard for a client to be present. It's hard for them to open up and give that feedback to us, or they're just simply so busy that despite us trying to set up systems, we're just not successful at that.
Right.
And so sometimes those are really difficult projects for us.
Okay.
Other projects that are difficult on the outside are actually really fun projects. You know, we've worked with situations where we're trying to downsize 3 homes into 1,
Right.
Wow.
which from the outside looks really difficult, but for us it's so much fun because we love like the
challenge.
puzzle and
Right.
the challenge
Right.
Yeah.
and all the moving pieces.
Right.
So
Well, that
Yeah.
makes sense. You have 2 people maybe getting married and they're both selling their house, and then maybe you have a kid moving in that's also downsizing. And yeah. What do you do in this situation? Because I might put myself in this where I would say, come in, here's my life, here's all my stuff, but my systems haven't worked. Are you able to come in and say, here's what I'm observing and here's what you've told me, and let's try this system?
Yeah, so many times I'll come in and talk with clients, and then they'll show me like the graveyard of organizing products in the basement that they've tried, and it didn't work.
Yeah.
Something that's really important to me, and I kind of drill this with my team members too, is we won't necessarily be able to tell you what's going to work at our consultation.
Right.
We follow a process where we'll come in and we'll spend some time. In the first phase, it's more of categorizing what you have, sorting it, doing the decluttering or editing if we need to, so that we get down to exactly what needs to be in the space that we're working with. Then we can start looking at how those need to be in your space and where they need to be in the space. And that's when we start to figure out what those solutions are going to be. And a lot of times our clients will say, well, I went to the Container Store, I bought all of this stuff, and I tried to put things away and it didn't work, but they've skipped over that whole process.
Right.
And so that's where we find many times the systems fall apart. Or another thing that's key is instead of just looking at a client will say, can you come organize my kitchen? Yes, we can organize the kitchen, but before we do that, we're going to evaluate what's impacting that kitchen. Is there a laundry room that's spilling over into the kitchen? Is there a mud room where things keep coming into the kitchen? Or a dining room or living room? If so, we need to look at things as a system.
Right.
And address all of it, or the best organizing we put into that kitchen isn't going to be sustainable.
Right. That's hilarious. I think my kids' room is the kitchen, is the living room,
Oh, of
is
course.
downstairs,
Yeah.
and my room.
Right?
So I think, talking to the kid might actually help with the system. Maybe
There
a
we
little
go.
bit. Do you have, so I know you have people that are there to maybe consult the people, to sit down with the family and say, here's how we can work together.
Yeah. In fact, we love like having time where we get to sit down with the kids and just talk with them about like,
Put your things back.
Mom wants me to organize your room. You tell me what makes you crazy in your room.
I need more toys.
Yeah.
That's what my kid would say. Like, I need more stuff. No.
Yeah. So tell me about the stuff you have in your room, things like that. Well, and part of that is me loving it, being a former educator and sitting down and probing and knowing the questions to ask them to figure out. It's not so much like, what do you want in your space as far as like, oh, I want rainbows and unicorns, but more like, I'm looking around your room and seeing that it's probably pretty hard for you to get in that closet because there's piles of stuff in front of it. How do you feel when you're trying to get in your closet?
Right.
And just starting to ask them questions like that. And do you like putting things in your closet, or would you rather just have bins where you can drop things in? Do you like folding? Things like that. So I can figure out kind of what are they most likely to do?
Right.
And then how can we set up systems so that they'll do that? I have a son who is 14. He's twice exceptional. So he's highly gifted, but he's also ADHD and on the autism spectrum. And I learn a ton from him and just watching him. And it struck me one day that his clothes, after he took them off at the end of the evening, were always on the floor. And then I looked and his hamper was in the closet. And I'm like, I'm just going to pull that hamper right out of the closet and put it right where you stand. And now the clothes get dropped in the hamper, sometimes alongside, but in the hamper, and I'm not running around the room to get them in the hamper.
Right.
So it's putting function over aesthetics sometimes.
Right.
To get our desired goal.
And to your
out of our
point, it's
spaces.
what are you kind of naturally going to do? I'm literally picturing my son right now, and they all go in the corner. But his hamper, literally, I don't know where the hamper is, if I'm being honest. But it's to do what we already naturally do, because if it's too hard, we're not going to do it. If it doesn't, especially when it comes to organization, because we come home at the end of the day and we're tired, we just want things to be done. And so it's, if you're automatically already doing it, it's to have the system. Put your keys, your car keys, in the same spot.
Yeah.
So you always know where they are. And that
I
goes
might
for,
need to
you know,
move my hamper out of the closet.
For sure.
So,
that would be.
I always just call the floor the guy's hamper. I mean, it's just where things go, and then, you know, like once a week you pick them up and put them in the hamper.
But to her point, when you walk in the room, does that, because it creates anxiety for me, right? When I walk in my closet, it's so disorganized.
Right.
And stuff is on the floor. Like it creates that anxiety. And so I think when you declutter, organize your house or your room, it organizes your brain. I always feel better. And after I purge.
Yeah.
It's
It's
so
interesting
nice.
you mentioned that because science will support that. So clutter is actually scientifically proven to raise your cortisol levels, which is a stress hormone.
Right.
So organization will bring that stress hormone down.
Right.
So if you're feeling that in your body, it's just your physical reaction.
For sure.
So clutter may be a sign of genius, but it's also a catalyst for stress.
Yes.
Okay,
And we do
I
like
it.
systems. I mean, if you think about it, almost all of us get up at the same time. What do you eat for breakfast? You get the kids off to school, or you go to work, or you have your own system in place. And I think that brings, at least for me, some comfort and some stability, if you will. And the same thing that goes in your organization. I know where I organize by dresses, and then by T-shirts, and then by, you know, I do.
Yeah.
And because it I want to know where it is, because it decreases my anxiety.
Right.
And so when I feel something is out of place, then it creates like, oh my gosh, my whole world is falling apart. So it is
And
interesting.
that's what I like about what you're doing, because you're not trying to change people's habits. You're trying to organize their habits, which is kind of cool. You talked about like the ongoing support. Go into that a little bit more, what the ongoing support kind of looks like, because as you said, you know, a TV show, oh, here you go, and then you know what's going to happen after that. So what does the ongoing support kind of look like?
And again, that varies so much from client to client. So
Okay.
we work with a lot of neurodivergent clients, which means they might, their brains work differently. They might have ADHD. They might be on the autism spectrum.
Right.
Something like that, where their brains don't naturally lend themselves to creating an organized environment, but they can very much benefit from being in an organized environment. So we'll partner up with them and help them create that environment, but then they many times need somebody to help them maintain it over
Right.
time. So I have one client that I work with every 2 weeks.
Every 2 weeks.
Nice.
And I just come in for a few hours every 2 weeks, and we just help maintain the systems and keep things functioning well.
Right.
Other people will have us come back every 3 months and do a tweak to this space or that space. Now I really want to focus on my laundry room for a little while. Erin, can we do something there? And by the way, the kids are all in new sizes, so can you help me purge these sizes out of the closets and pull down the next size from all of the clothing that we've saved from hand-me-downs? So we'll do that change for them.
I bet that's big for businesses too, because just like your life, personal life evolves, so business evolves all the time. To, okay, now we're expanding to this, now we're changing this, now we're moving stuff right here. I mean, in all the businesses I've been in, day one when I got in there, things are completely different and put in this different spots by the time I get fired or leave. So no, I definitely get that. So people just, you just come in periodically just to make sure or see if there's any changes that need to be done.
Yeah.
Right.
Well, and there's a lot of research too for supporting organization within the workplace. Now that I bring that up, because there's so many different ways people think, but they're all trying to work together towards similar goals in a workspace.
Right.
And so, especially if you're trying to lead that workspace, if you keep looking around thinking, well, why can't everybody just function in the same way? It's because their brains literally don't support them in doing that. So to have somebody come and support your workspace in creating spaces that function for everybody can be really valuable. And then suddenly your productivity, your focus, all of this changes because the spaces are set up well for the people there in that space.
Right.
You also, you have gift cards on your website.
We do, yeah. Gift cards are really popular, especially around the holidays. We see a big run on them for Mother's Day.
Really?
Popular Mother's Day gifts.
Nice.
And then just periodically for birthdays and other celebrations. So a couple ways you can do that. If you'd like to just purchase the gift certificate off of our website, it can be for any amount over $50. So you decide how much you want to give to the recipient to spur them to become more organized. And then we can, you'll just automatically be emailed the gift certificate, or it can be emailed to your recipient too at a time that you select. Or you can let me know, just reach out to me through email, tell me you'd like to purchase a gift certificate, and I have some really nice ones on hard cardstock that are printed out. And we can send the printed one in a beautiful envelope to you or your recipient, so you have something that you can wrap and put under the tree or put in a box for birthday or so forth too. So
Nice.
Either way.
So find that certain friend or family member where you're like, you need some organization.
Exactly.
I like
That's
it.
good, especially, I mean, if we're downsizing or moving, I mean, that's a wonderful gift,
Yeah.
right? Just to say, I know you need help. We all need help.
Or moms for treats on Mother's Day. Like, hey, I know you've been wanting to do something with your closet, so
Right.
contact Room Redefined. And like one of our team members is a closet designer at the Container Store, and we actually receive trade discounts at the Container Store, and we pass those on to our clients. So
Nice.
you can get a whole closet redesign with us. And then
Okay.
we can install it and organize it for you. So,
Nice.
it's a great Mother's Day gift, great
That
birthday
is.
gift,
I
great
like it.
Christmas
Father's
gift,
Day.
Father's
hey,
Day.
We all need some help.
Yep.
That's right.
Nice. Well, Erin, thank you so much for being here. I love what you do. It's a huge benefit to many, many people. That is for sure.
Thank
Yep.
you so much.
Yeah,
It's
of
been a pleasure
course.
talking with you both.
Yeah. Thank you.
Yeah.
Definitely check them out. Redefined.com. And I love your title. I got to say, on your about section, you are the redefiner in chief. I like that. That's really
Thank you.
cool. 720-934-4214. And yeah, they will go almost anywhere. I mean, you guys cover a big footprint. Even drive outside of it. Just, of course, some probably a little bit more expensive just because of the travel time on that. But check them out. And if you have that certain family friend who's just needs an organizer, they have gift cards too.
For sure. Yeah. Anything from your homes to
Businesses,
to businesses to schools.
It's
I mean,
really
this
cool
is
you
all
do
over the-
schools too. That's amazing. Yeah.
I agree.
you.
Yeah.
Man, I would love to, if I were a teacher, just to walk in my classroom and have it be done.
Yeah.
I mean, I bet that was a huge benefit to that school that you did that. I mean, because it is. They have, all the teachers have to get there a month before sometimes and getting all their supplies. So, man, if you need some help, definitely contact Erin.
Yeah. I speak fluent school.
Fluent
Fluent
school.
school.
I like it. That's awesome.
Well, thank you very much for tuning in, everybody. If you did catch kind of the end, do know that this interview will be on our social media platforms, the K4CO Radio, Facebook, LinkedIn, all that fun stuff for a month. YouTube is forever. So you can always go back, rewatch or watch it from the beginning, and then comment and reach out to Erin Gaskins of Room Redefined. And tune in a little later on today. 5:30, we actually are speaking with Matthew and Bradley, who are founding partners of Smith and Weidinger.
Yeah, Smith and Weidinger. They're two personal injury lawyers.
That's right.
So that'll be a fun one to tune into as well.
Definitely. Erin, thank you so much for coming in.
Yeah, thank you.
Really appreciate it. Everybody take care. We have the afternoon mix coming up on K4CO Radio soon after this. So enjoy a big plethora mix of music. And yeah, we'll talk to you soon. Take care, everybody.